Hi, good morning. Welcome to my series of water reflections. I'm going to be coming here as much as I can, as often as I can. I'll try to do it every day, and I'll capture what I see in the water. I like to get some sort of message when I look at the water, whether it's the reflection, whether it's the tide, the waves. It's just the practice I want to continue, and it'll help me to do videos every day. So, just looking at today's, you can see, I've talked about this before too, the trail of light coming from the sun. I've been feeling a lot like my life, the life that I actually want to live, has never actually been the life that I've been living, and it's always kind of been in the distance. I've peered into the distance and seen it with relationships, with career. It's always something that I've never actually been in. I've always wanted, I've always sought after. I can see it, I know where I want to go, I know what I want, but I haven't actually been able to make it happen. And you could see with this trail of light, you can look at the sun like it's a symbol of what I'm aiming for. It's this bright, beautiful thing that stands out, and it's warm. And this trail of light, it leads to the land here, and it looks like it connects, but it's never actually at my feet. And I can try walking towards it, but it's going to keep moving away, so I'm never actually able to step on it. And if I try to go into the water, again, the trail stops. It never really reaches my feet. It just stops right there. But if I get low enough, eventually it'll connect. And that would mean I'd have to get wet. I'd have to, like, if I walked down into the water here and I kept walking, eventually when my eyes met the surface of the water, it would meet the reflection of the sun. So what does that mean? I'm trying to translate that. I'd need to get wet. What does that mean? Just going back to like what I was saying before about my career and relationships. Maybe it's because I've also moved around with what I wanted to do with my career. I never really knew. Like I knew I wanted to be a graphic designer, but I never knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I had a freelance. I do web design. I do logos, branding, motion graphics, animation, but it's always just been here and there. It's never been something that I knew I could specialize in and take further. So I've always just kind of stepped my toes in these different things. And I've had some clients too, but corporate also wasn't something that appealed to me, so that didn't go far either. And then with relationships, I've always wanted one. I've never had a long-term relationship, and like I've pulled away from dating because I feel like I need to focus on myself. I need to establish my career even before I can get into that, and where I need to be with NoFap. Because otherwise, being on dating sites will just lead to relapses, and I just won't be the person I need to be a good partner, or someone others would want to be with either. And so I pulled away from dating to focus on myself, and I still haven't even been able to establish myself in either of these areas. I haven't been able to establish myself in my career or relationships, and it feels like I've never been able to. It's just always been in the distance. I'm 28 years old, and I haven't established either thing where they need to be yet. But going back to this getting wet, like what I've been missing, what I need to do, I think, is like, what does being wet symbolize? It's like taking a step that you can't step back from. Once you're in there and once you're wet, you're not going to come back out dry. You're committing to it, like taking a leap that you can't retreat from. And that's something I haven't really ever done. I've always kind of played things safe. I was listening to this podcast, this woman talking about how she's never had a job that she's been qualified for. You do things when you don't feel ready, and you commit to them. You do big things that you do when you don't feel ready. And in terms of relationships and what I actually want, the life I actually want for myself that I've wanted to live, this life of adventure, of living in a van, of living on a boat, and just being with someone, exploring, traveling. Like, all the people who inspire me have been able to do these things, and girls have been able to do these things that inspire me and that I've admired. And some of them found their partners through doing that. And even if they didn't, like, they did that. They're living their life the way they want to, without being ready, without waiting to be ready. You just kind of, you do things, and I'm learning how to swim properly, because I almost drowned a few years ago. I used to know how to swim, but it escaped me. So I could go into this water not being qualified, because I feel like I know enough that I can handle myself. And with design, I know enough design that I can handle myself in this career with graphic design without having to wait until I built my portfolio specific to film, before I move into that. Like, I know enough, I can handle it. I should just take the leaps to do these things now. And with acting, I know enough to take the leap of auditioning, not waiting till I'm such a good actor that I feel completely confident. I mean, a huge part of acting and auditioning is feeling completely confident, but I can move into that headspace before I'm actually ready, before I actually see the evidence that I can be that confident. Just by believing that I can get there, that I can actually make it in it before I'm ready, should give me that confidence. This is my third time trying to record this. Still recording, that's good. Yeah, so basically I just want to do things like this every day. If you're feeling like this is not the greatest content, if it's hard to listen to, if I'm all over the place, or if I'm just talking very meekly, quiet, I recognize that too, and I feel like doing this every day will help me to improve that. I want to do these things every day because I want to be someone who is consistent with something, and I feel like I can grow from these. I've wanted to do live streams like this for a long time. I used to, and then I stopped, and just like with working out, I want to keep these things consistent, and I want to see the growth, improvement, and I'm sure both will take a long time, but it'll encourage me to come, although I'll probably come anyways. I've been coming to see the sunrise. I'd also just like to share the sunrise too with people. I mean, now it's kind of late. It was really red before, but I'll be here earlier, and I'll be doing these more often. And my thoughts will be a lot more complete, yada yada yada. Anyways, thanks for joining, and if you watch this, and I'll see you next time.